Hello everybody, Ian from Starship Adventures, and today's something a little bit different. We went to Helen yesterday, and I have to tell you, I was very saddened by what I saw. We've been going to Helen since I was 10 years old. We watched them make a candle there when we were 10 years old, and we bought it, and then we went down to the fudge shop and we bought fudge, and my family's been sold ever since. We go to Helen probably on average about once a year. We've gone at Christmas, we've gone at all the different holidays, and this year we had a friend with us that had never been there before, so we decided we're going to take him with us, and we're going to go and see Helen and show him Helen. And we get there, and what do we find? Well, we find this. They actually took all of the love locks down and got rid of them. All these locks that were placed there by people that love other people, and those were a sign of their love. They took it down. The reason the locks were under the bridge was it's a tradition. It's a tradition that was started after World War I, when a woman lost her lover in the war and then decided to put a lock with their name on it on a bridge to signify that there would be love forever. And she put a bunch of these locks around, and it became a thing. And it started out in, let's see here, it started out in Hungary about 100 years ago. And the woman, like I said, she lost her love, and this was her way of expressing it, and that became important for her. And that's why it's important for me. I want to qualify right now. I don't have a lock under that bridge. I never put a lock under there. My wife and I are not as much into the little trinkets of love and this and that. And I will tell you, despite the fact that I have no lock under that bridge, I got family that does. And when I called my nephews, I called both my nephews who have their locks with their old ladies under that bridge, and I saw those locks were gone. I was outraged, and I called them, and they were outraged as well. So I'm approaching this where I'm not necessarily a victim myself, so I'm approaching it from a third party, but I do have family that was affected by this. What a decision that they had to make to take all these locks down. Well, we're going to discuss this in depth in this video, so don't go anywhere. Paris was known as the city of love, and the lock thing kind of moved to Paris, and then it moved all over the place. There's one in Atlanta. There's a bunch of them all over the place where people go and put a lock to signify their everlasting love. Okay, and so these locks in Helen specifically were placed here by people that came to that town, made a purchase in that town, did a tradition that is acceptable by that town, and then that town comes in and deletes it out and gets rid of it. That's wrong, Helen. I'm sorry, you shouldn't have done it. There's ways this could have been handled. There's ways this could have been done, and it wasn't done right. I'm going to say, first off, I can't find much in the way of news. We're way up here in the mountains, and the media seems to, pretty much ignore this area. The only article I could find on what actually happened, there was two. One was made up by the city of Helen, so it's a propaganda piece, basically. The other one is behind a paywall, and I'm not giving them $12 to read a damn news article. So, that being said, I don't have exactly all the facts on this, but I did speak to locals, and I did pull every piece of information I could, and I also read every sign and took photographs of everything. I've researched the best I can, and here's what I found out. Number one, they knew this was going to be a problem years ago. Why did they keep encouraging people to put locks on the fence? If you thought that fence was going to get too heavy, you saw the locks. There's a billion of them on there. And then all of a sudden, one day, you become concerned? What's up with that, Helen? I mean, come on, seriously. You took them down because of what reason? We're going to get to that. I believe that Helen, the city of Helen, was encouraging these locks. Their vendors were selling these locks. There was not a single sign discouraging people from placing these locks, government or private. There was nothing. And this should have been something that was addressed long ago. They should have built that heart long ago and put up signs. No more locks under the bridge. They have to go on the heart. And then leave the ones under the bridge. But they decided not to do that. Why? Why? Because they don't give a care. They don't crap. They don't give a shit. Whatever you want to call it. They just don't care. And it really upset me. And I don't think they realize how upset this is making people. And the reason I'm making this video is because I hope everybody that is upset by this finds this video. Okay, I'm going to keyword it and everything. I want you to find this video. And I'm going to put information in the description of this video where you can call Helen, or you can send Helen an email message or a Facebook message and tell them just how uncomfortable and unhappy they've made you by removing thousands and thousands and thousands of things that were put there with the blessing of the city. They were put there. They were encouraged to put it there. They were sold something to put there. And then you took it away. And I think that's just absolutely wrong. You didn't do anything to discourage it. Vendors were selling these locks. They were selling them. If there was getting to be too many locks, why didn't you ask your vendors to stop selling them and discourage the locks until we can get this heart built? It just wasn't handled properly. They just let it go and let it go and let it go. That's what government does. They let something go until it's an absolute disaster, and then suddenly they got to fix it. And that usually is the bull in the china shop that fixes it. And it's unfortunate it works out this way. Now, I want to talk for a minute about the reason they removed these locks. All right? And I'm sorry if you got tender ears, but the reason that they give, the city of Helen gives for removing these locks is complete and utter bullshit, okay? It's complete and utter bullshit, and you can quote me on that, okay? Let me explain. None of these locks were attached to load-bearing members of the bridge. They were never attached to any of the parts of the bridge, ever. This was a fence that ran under the bridge. It was attached directly to the concrete below the bridge. So how in the hell, and I'm putting them right here so you can see them, how did these locks attach to that fence on that ground? How is that threatening the structural integrity of the bridge? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's bullshit. When they say stuff like this, it's because they had to find some excuse. We didn't need an excuse, okay? But they gave us one, and it's bullshit. Those locks do not place a single pound of weight on any of the structure there. Not the bridge, not the suspension portions, not even the uprights for the bridge are affected by the weight of those locks. Nothing is affected like that, nothing. Let's see here. The bottom line is the bridge did not ever support the weight of the locks. The bridge, not in 1 pound, ever supported the weight of these rocks, ever. Look where they're attached. They're attached to a fence that's attached to the concrete. That concrete is poured directly onto the ground. There was never a danger to that bridge. There was never a danger to the public. This was simply just an excuse that they used. Now, let's talk about, because the reason they did it's complete bullshit. How they did it's complete bullshit. Now let's talk about protecting people's dreams. These things were important to people. Every one of these locks meant something to somebody. Every one of these locks was important to somebody, and every one of these locks was purchased in your town by somebody. Okay? And so, no effort was made to contact these folks. Now, here's what I would have done. I would have put up a sign that says, look, in 1 year or in 6 months or in 3 months, we're removing these locks. They can't stay here. Make up a real reason this time. They can't stay here. We have to take them down. And we're going to take them down. So you have 6 months. You have till July 31st to come retrieve your lock, whether you use a locksmith, whether you still have the key, cut it off yourself, but give you a chance to take care of that yourself and move it over to that heart that they built. Okay? You could have done that. That wouldn't have been a problem. You could have let people know and gave them some notice. We were over there 2 or 3 months ago. There was no notice. Those locks were there. There was no signs. Everything was fine. We show up today, gone. Completely gone. No time period was allowed for folks to retrieve them, to move them, to do anything like that. The new location, as much as and I'm going to give some positive here. They did a good job. It's a big metal heart that can probably hold about 10,000 of these locks. It's great. I'm happy with that part of it. They did an effort there. There's an effort to do something. This is not such a bad solution. It really isn't. It's how they went about it. Number two, I want to talk about the fence and the chains. The fence and the chains that these things were attached to. They could have, if you wanted to, been cut, laid over onto a cart, and simply wheeled somewhere else in Helen where they could have been re-erected and people's dreams would still be there. Okay? There was no reason to cut these locks off and throw them away. That to me is unreasonable. It's ridiculous. These fences could have been set up in a part of that heart display even. They could have been part of that. It was just a big thick chain from the 70s or whatever that had a bunch of locks in it. Remove it. Get a little mini crane in there, pick it up, sit it on a thing, dolly it out of there, no big deal, and go put it somewhere else in Helen. Instead, nope, we're going to cut them off, and they're gone. The thing that was meant to signify lasting forever was removed by government and taken away and put in the garbage. I know that, think about it. That's what it is. Let's think about it. Maybe the city feels that now you'll come back and buy another one. Maybe that's the nefarious plan here. I don't know. I don't see a reason why the old ones were taken down. They were getting bulky. It was getting to be too much. And they did need to build that heart and move people to start putting them on that heart. I get that. But to remove the old ones was really, really not right. And finally, I do want to discuss something. They said they removed them because of the weight on the bridge. Now, we've already discussed they were never on the bridge. They were never part of the bridge. They're not even on a part that's connected directly to the bridge. Okay? Do you know what they put in the place of it? A brick wall this high. A poured solid brick wall that's so high that my mother couldn't see over it. Anybody in a wheelchair couldn't see over it. Any child would not be able to see over it. So not only did they take away all these locks, not only did they upset tens of thousands of people that came to their town and spent money there, but they built a wall. You can no longer sit under the bridge and look at the river. There's benches under there. It's a great place to sit and watch the river. They've taken that away because they needed something, I guess, that you couldn't put locks on. So they built a big brick wall, 5 feet tall. Why did it need to be 5 feet tall? Who knows? They don't explain things to us. But the problem is that brick wall they built weighs probably about as much as the locks that they took down. So what have we achieved? We built this brick wall where the locks were because the locks were too heavy. So we took them down because they were too heavy. And we built a heart so people could put their new ones on. We took it down because it was too heavy, and we built a poured solid brick wall in its place. That's probably just every bit as heavy. So I think the moral to the story is here, I just don't know what happened. I don't know why it was necessary to do this. And I needed to just come on here and vent a little bit. I appreciate your comments. If you have more information that I did not cover on this video, if you know something, like I said, I tried to source everything I could for this video. I tried to find everything I could for this video to make it something that is correct, something that is accurate, and something that is new with fact. But I don't have all the facts because like I said, the only article I had was written by the city of Helen. And it is devoid of any mention of what happened to the old locks, which tells me that they're gone. I also found a YouTube video that shows the employees of the city cutting the locks off and laughing about it as they throw them in a bucket. That video's on YouTube. Go find it. I might put the link to that if I can find it in the description again. But it's not great. And I will tell you, Helen's a great town. It's a great place. We love it. Everybody's nice there. The cops are nice there. The people are nice there. The store owners are nice. We love Helen. And so this comes from a little bit of pain for me because I'm talking shit about a town that I really like. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm never going back. I hate people that do all that bullshit. I'll go back to Helen, but I'm not happy about this lock thing. And I just wanted to make sure that I got out here my feelings. And I just wanted to make sure that the people see what happened here. Maybe say something to them. If you had a lock under that bridge, do you want to go back and buy another lock now? Do you want to go back and fix what they did? I mean, I can see why that would be negative for people. And I can see why I'm getting rage when I call people on the phone and tell them what happened. I know no less than 6 people that have a lock under that bridge. And they're not happy. They're very unhappy about what happened. And the city of Helen is unapologetic. They don't seem to care. They really just don't seem to care about how people feel about what they've done with these locks. You know, even if they came out and said, yeah, we cut them all off, but we glued them on this thing over here. I mean, there's so many things that could have been done. But they didn't give a shit. All they wanted to do was they wanted those locks gone, and they built a brick wall there. Way to go, Helen. God bless. Government never ceases to amaze me. I hope you found this informative. I'm sorry I'm so negative. Most of my stuff is not negative. And I don't like to be negative because I love Helen and I love the mountains up here in Georgia and I love coming up here. But I was so aggravated yesterday. I hardly slept last night. And I told my wife, I'm going to make another video. I'm going to make a video about this. I want people to see what happened here. So that's all I'm doing. All right, guys, my name's Ian, Starship Adventures. Please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. I really appreciate it. It really helps. And thanks for hanging to the end of the video. I don't know if you guys realize it. When you watch a video, you're helping the person that made that video by giving them some viewer hours and subscriptions and thumbs up. All that stuff's really, really important out there. And we're a growing channel, and I do appreciate it. This is Starship Adventures. We normally have very positive programming. Today's a little bit different. I had something stuck in my craw. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Again, I'm Ian. This is Starship Adventures. We work with both Scuffed Radio and Carlotta, a lot of our sister stations. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.